Slag pits, right?
Yeah, Slag pits.
There we go.
Yeah, Slag pits.
So,
Is Andre back yet? Where's Andre?
I do not know. I'll invite him to the game. But he hasn't been talking. He's actually not on Battle.net, so he might be gone.
Where's Andre? Oh.
Let's see. Okay.
Oh, Cats, do you have stream on? By any chance? Or soon?
Stream?
Had the stream on? I don't know. Someone said you had the stream on. I guess it's just someone idiot saying something.
What do you mean?
But,
yeah, I have the stream on.
I mean, do you have it muted? That's what I was referring to. I'm sure you do. Maybe Andre doesn't or something now. I don't know.
He's not an idiot. I am an idiot.
Andre's not on Skype anymore with us, so.
Alrighty. Yeah, he probably had to run or something. So let's start on Cirque Heaven, aka Slag Pits. AKA, you shouldn't lose on this map or you're bad.
Yeah.
We say that now and we're all laughing and we're just gonna die to like some retarded Terran.
I mean, you can die to 4-gate and, I mean, like any other map, but I mean, in general, you know.
Yeah, just the long macro game. I mean, they did try to fix that. Like, I can see the thought process of the guy that made this map, who's probably retarded, but I can see, like, there aren't many expos available. You know, like, that's how they try to make up for the late game for Zerg. But it really doesn't matter all that much. The map is ridiculously huge. Like, there aren't any boats, there's less bases.
Okay, well, first of all, this map, even close spawn, is not nearly as bad as, like, Lost Temple Metal. Simply because there's no third in between. You know how Lost Temple Metal, there's both thirds they can take as they're trying to kill you close spawn.
Right.
But on this map, first of all, there's no third in between you and your close spawn, so when they're actually doing a 2-base all-in, they're really all-in. Like, they can't take a third. And actually, when it's not close spawn, well, at least Protoss just can't take a third, ever.
Neither can Terran.
I'm not sure about Terran, maybe, but, I mean, at least for us, I'm sure, because, I mean, if you just look at the map, how, like, where would they even take a third, you know? Like, what's really standard ZP is, you know, Zerg's always going to take a third. It really doesn't matter for Zerg where the third is most of the time. So you can just take one anywhere and, you know, just go 3-base, you know, Mass Roach or Burrow or something, for aggression, and you can kind of split your army half and half, like half Roaches, into control groups and use Burrow movements to threaten multiple attacks. And, I mean, most maps, they can kind of work eventually to take a third, but if you look at how it is right now, they can't take a third anywhere, you know? The goal is way to the side, like, it's not even close to being defensible.
Yeah,
no other base is close to being defensible. So I don't think Protoss can ever take a third, basically. And I think that 2-base all-ins are actually extremely weak on this map, too, just because how open it is. Like, you might not even need too many corruptors versus Colossus. You can actually probably just swarm it with, you know, Roach Speeding Hydra.
Absolutely.
Here's something. Go ahead.
No, I completely agree. And even taking the natural is really hard for Protoss as well.
Yeah.
I feel like the early game is going to be, again, like Ling Baneling or something like that against Protoss, or Roach Ling. And, yeah, it seems like a really stupid, bad map for PvZ. And it seems like a really stupid, bad map for TvZ. Maybe except close positions where tank push might be still viable. But
yeah, I mean, probably Terran is ridiculously hard to take a third too here, you know.
Yeah. Any other positions? I feel like, you know, tank marine is pretty bad. Even this close, you know, this narrow chokes, they're not narrow at all. You know, they're huge.
Well, there's so many spaces where you can just flank their enemy, like backstab them and things like that. You know, the other map where 4-gate is actually really probably even balanced, but I mean, how the natural is on this map, I don't think that I don't think 4-gate is any stronger on this than metal, basically, you know. So
well, why don't you think so? I think it really would be for a couple reasons. I don't see.
Alright, go on, maybe.
Alright, well, one, obviously the natural is a lot farther from the ramp. You're going to have a lot of hard problem stopping the Protoss army before it can force field your ramp and prevent any reinforcements from coming if they do some sort of sentry 4-gate. The other main thing is, you notice there's kind of like a little hole right next to where my forge is, Cats, and right below your ramp, Strife, like to the left of it, there's kind of a hole, or to the right. Like, if Protoss just comes around that way and then just tries to go up your ramp, like he can force field and cut you off there, force field backwards too, not that hard because of that little hole. And I imagine just running into the main and just keeping a sentry there could be really, really hard to deal with because you're not going to be able to get spines up in time. And at least that's what I'm getting right now, is that if I was a Protoss here, I'd be working on my 4-gate variations.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
first of all, 4 gates with sentry, most of the scary 4 gates are without sentries. 1 gas 4 gates for Zerg.
Debatable.
And also, I mean, in general, versus Protoss, you don't really need spine crawlers to defend against 4 gate. I mean, it is pretty easy to defend against 4 gate just going roach speedling. Even on maps that are easier like Metal, a lot of people don't make spine crawlers anyways and just go roach speedling. And I don't think that this has any kind of difference going roach speedling.
Yeah,
I mean, if they actually go 4 gas with sentry, it's going to be a lot slower. You're going to have roaches out by then. And you can actually just farm them as they're moving through that choke too. I mean, roaches are 4 range, it's not too bad. They're pretty all-in too. It's pretty far away too, so like how open the map is, you can pick off probes running across the map, setting up proxy pylons, or at least threaten the proxy pylon every time they move away from it.
Yeah, I can see what Chet is saying with that little choke where force field's pretty good, but that might only be a problem like in close positions, because in any other position they're gonna have have to walk there. And I feel like even just speedlings are incredibly effective against force fields here because.
Have you played miniguns, little weird 4-gate variation thing at all? Either of you guys that much?
Which one?
Where he just like kind of builds up this huge army with sentries, and it's like a 4-gate where he has a huge army. Like it's a weird timing for it. You'd think it's stupid, but it turns out it works really well because he's just building slowly this huge sentry stalker army.
Right.
4 gate would just like not hitting you right away and just building up.
Yeah, it's like it delays building up this huge like sentries at first, so you can't kill it, and then just he slowly builds up a whole bunch of stalkers while he's getting more energy back. And at that point, you can run around and pick off your units if they're not behind spines, because you can do a bunch of force fields to split you up way too bad, because you're not going to have a lair and burrow by that point, obviously, or even speed, or even a creep spread, because they've been sitting at your base the whole time, preventing that.
I mean, it's actually not really far away from your natural. Like this is actually closer than Zone Lava Caverns, I feel, whereas the other one that we went over is way farther than Zone Lava Caverns. I mean, you can actually put spine crawlers. I'm actually sure after I build my hatchery, I can actually go ahead and even put spine crawlers around here. I don't even think that you can't use spine crawlers,
No, I think you can't. I don't see how you can.
I mean, you don't even need 1 creep tumor. If you put 1, you could definitely cover your ramp. If you put 0 creep tumors, I think you can still cover the ramp as they're running up.
Yeah, the ramp.
It's actually
what about
not
your
that
expo?
Debatable.
I mean, you can cover your ramp for sure, but what about everything else? Like, they can just walk around and kill your expo.
Yeah, I mean, if they walk around, they're at least committed towards running. Like, they can't hit. Like, the moment they commit their army, you don't have to worry about balancing drone and units. You can just mass units and swarm them, Like, if they actually run behind your mineral line or something, and you just pump mass units and kill them.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be hard. I mean, if you're trying to use, like, pure spine crawler or no gas or something, it'd be really weird. But, I mean, I bet it can buy you some time, and then you can maybe run your drones a little bit and pump out mass roach speeding and swarm them. They're not going to get away once they run behind your mineral line,
Yeah, and that's, and to the stream, like, we're just talking about 4 warp gate because it seems like it's the only viable thing for Protoss here. Like, it's actually a pretty bad map for Protoss.
What are they going to do?
Yeah, it's actually a ridiculously good map for Zerg. You just have to survive the early game. In close positions, I can see how tanks could be okay running through those back doors, like tank pushes to your natural, actually, in TVZ. But then
one of the scary things is if they bust on their own rocks on their side and then put tanks there, they can it's kind of the same as Shakuras or something, where they can use tanks behind the rocks and then drop medevacs with marines and pick at your extractor and minerals, and the tanks can kind of cover the marines from banelings. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these maps are gonna be basically someone finding a style that works on them, and everyone's gonna do the same thing, because there aren't really many options for Terran and Protoss on this map. So it's gonna be a really monotone, boring map. The middle's basically gonna be unused on every single matchup, unless maybe ZVZ or cross positions. Just in general, cross positions against Terran, perhaps. but I don't know. I think it's too good for Zerg in the late game. I think it's too good for Zerg in the mid game. I think it might be okay in the early game. It might be actually hard for Zerg, but you know, it's not really a big issue.
I don't think it's any different than a lot of other maps, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah. Also, this
Star
back rock.
Station, you can't use Spine Crawler to defend against 4-gate anyways, but it's not like Zerg thinks Scrap Station is a bad Zerg map, you know, or
Yeah.
4-gate's extra scary.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, we missed something here.
What?
There are destructible rocks at the back of our expo.
Yeah, we've been talking
Yeah,
about
that's what I was talking about. The tank
Alright,
pushes there.
sorry, I was reading chat and I found out I'm a robot or something, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But yeah, I mean that could even be good for Zerg against Protoss, just to like it gives you one extra angle to hit them from with, and make
Yep.
roaches even better.
So in general, like all these things give like maybe some chance to Terran, but everything we talk about just makes it worse and worse and worse for Protoss.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a 4-gating map, and it's not. I mean, Phoenix openers actually could be really good on this map. Now that I think about it, just because they're so mobile, and you know the immediate counter would be Hydras, but then off creep they're gonna be incredibly slow to counter if you can stop the Phoenix harass.
Yeah, I think one of the only ways that they could play a macro game would be to use some kind of star report play. Even if they were doing a 3-gate expo, it'd probably be into Stargates instead of Robo.
Yeah, I don't see how they can do a 3-gate expo though. Yeah, but I think like 1-base Phoenix is gonna be pretty popular in this map, just because of that. You can't really counter with Hydras, but other than that, pretty hideous map for every other race. Pretty good for us in general. So we'll just have to learn how to deal with 2 strategies per race, and then we're good.
Pretty much.
Alrighty. Now there's a huge block right next to your natural expansion that could also be used for sieging tanks and stuff like that. But you know, again, not a big deal, and it does introduce new mechanics to the game because that's huge. That's like a huge block.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, at least they'll need. I mean, at least it's not like the other map where they can walk up there. At least they'll need to drop them up there, you know.
Yeah, and it can't hit your expansion from it.
Yeah, it can't actually hit your extension,
Yeah.
but you can use it to kind of leverage Marines poking back and forth and running back from banelings, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a bunker for siege tanks kind of deal.
There is even a way. There is even that area outside your main that looks like they can put tanks and actually hit your nexus or your command center.
Where?
Like it's below the
like, I
ramp.
think where my
Like look
queen
at your
is
main and then just,
Maybe.
yeah, like look. I have a probe that just
okay.
took off gas and building pylons along an
shit.
edge.
Yeah, they gotta fix that. Yeah, that
I mean,
can
that-
definitely
Yeah,
hit
tanks
your-
can definitely hit stuff from there.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad right there. It's like, oh, we have to deal with that now too. Actually, oops.
Yep, and PvP cannon rushes, same shit. You can
Oh yeah,
set
that would be really hard.
Yeah. I don't think Zerg can get cannon rush from here
Oh no, I don't think
because
so.
they can't actually put many cannons on top because creep's gonna spread here, I think.
Yeah, and you can just kind of ignore it, maybe lose your hatch, and you're still mining all the entire time, unlike on Metalopolis, where it actually disrupts your mining.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So
Well, I don't
yeah,
think they'll lose their hatch. They can't hit your. Oh, you meant extractor probably, like one of your gases.
no, they can hit your nexus. I mean, not from below, but you know, if they put a cannon up, like make 2 cannons down and then 1 cannon up.
Oh yeah,
you can
I
definitely-
don't think they can make a cannon up because the creep is going to be there. So I mean, I think creep
Oh.
doesn't creep spread all the way to the edge. I'm not sure how to creep down here, but it does seem to be going to be spread pretty close out to the edge where they're.
Yeah,
I'm
there
just
might
saying
be
you
a
can't build
corner.
a cannon
There might
at
be a
the top.
corner where you can do it, but even so, it's still pretty bad because you're investing so much in the cannons, and then
Yeah.
you can just sacrifice your 1 hatch, and you know they've spent more money than you. So, and then die to a counter of speedlings or something. So yeah, pretty bad map in general. Good for Zerg though, and at least in the middle and late game for sure. Let's move on to the next.